What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Before I get into this video, I want to remind you guys, as always, if you want to donate to this channel, show love to this channel, Too Raw for TV. There's a link in the description box if you want to donate to this channel if you choose to. Now, Kyrie Irving. I was looking at First Things First today, and they were talking about the topic regarding Kyrie Irving and, of course, the impending free agency period. He will be a free agent. And there are some indications now that Kyrie Irving may be destined to play for New York, but not the team that everybody was anticipating. Instead of the New York Knicks, it's looking more likely that his final destination may be Brooklyn. Yeah, that Brooklyn Nets team. And I have to be honest, man, I don't usually agree with Nick Wright on a lot of things, but in this situation, I see his point. I see his point. If you're Kyrie Irving, essentially is basically going to a team where you're going to be in the same situation, which is you're going to be playing on a team that's good enough to make the playoffs, but not good enough to make to the NBA Finals or definitely win a championship. The only difference will be is that instead of playing in Boston, you'll be playing in a smaller market, and therefore there will be less pressure upon you to succeed. If he goes to LA, you know what that's going to be like. He's been playing with LeBron James. And if you play with LeBron James, you have to play at an MVP caliber level every night, or you're going to get the blame. That's just how the media works. You're going to get the blame playing with LeBron James. If you go to the bigger market New York team, the Knicks, then you still have a lot of pressure. The New York Knicks fan base definitely are tired of either mediocrity or just downright stinking, as they have been for the past 15 seasons or so. They've stunk for the most part. Couple of good seasons here or there. They had that 54-win team with Carmelo Anthony, but for the most part, the Knicks have either been mediocre or they've stunk. Now, you could stay in Boston, but apparently things aren't working out there. Chemistry issues, to say the least. So, the only thing I can think of, and they brought this up, Chris Carter, he always talk about my mother, my father, my uncle, my brother, my brother, blah, 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 blah. They talk about Kyrie Irving's father being highly influential in Kyrie's life, and that his father may be behind his decision to play in Brooklyn, if that does come to fruition, that he plays in Brooklyn. Maybe this is a personal thing for him. I don't know though, man. Kyrie just seems like I think Kyrie is like the Jimmy Carter of basketball players, man. Like, I think he's a very analytical, in his head type guy, and he analyzes things maybe to a default. You know what I'm saying? Constantly trying to calculate what's the best situation for him. I think he's a very complex person. And whatever the reason is behind this, if he does play in Brooklyn, they're going to be an improved team. But, you know, one thing I do notice about that team is if Kyrie comes there, you have a couple of other guys who need the basketball. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, they need the basketball to be effective. So you're kind of going to have some of the same problems. That's just me thinking about that team. So for one moment, for one time, I agree 100% with Nick Wright in this situation. But hey, if Kyrie Irving rather be on a team that might win 47, 48 games, if they're lucky, maybe 50, and maybe make the second round of playoffs. Hey, all power to him. If that makes him happy, that makes him happy. Whatever we think he should do, it is does not important. It's whatever makes Kyrie Irving happy. Maybe he's not one of those type of players that is driven by championships. Maybe he's driven by peace of mind and happiness. Not everybody has that, I guess, quote unquote, Mamba mentality. Even though he tries to, even though he says that Kobe Bryant's one of his mentors. So this guy's very conflicted. I guess, we could be looking at this wrong. Maybe he's determined to make a team his. Now that I think about it, maybe he's determined to make an organization his organization. Maybe that's what he's looking for. But I know one thing, he's running out of prime years. Because how old is Kyrie Irving? Well, I'm not saying he's running out of it, but by the time Kobe began his last championship runs, Kobe was already 30 years old. And Kyrie Irving is what, 20? I haven't kept up with his age. What is he, like 27, 28? Maybe he's older than that. Yeah, I think he's older than that. Because he came in the league, what, 2012, was it? So Kyrie's pushing 30 already. He's not quite 30, I don't think, but he's getting there. I mean, you have to, at this point in time, Kyrie Irving's already pretty much shows what he is. You know what I'm saying? I think he doesn't like the unfair pressures that were put upon him in Boston. Like, for instance, I don't understand why none of the pressure was aimed at Gordon Hayward. Because if I'm not mistaken, Gordon Hayward was supposed to have been the second best player on that team, supposedly. If you look at the contract, he was expected to be the second best player, but yet, mysteriously, he escaped all types of criticism. He escaped criticism because people just kept, hawking back to the injury that he suffered at the beginning of last season. Now I understand players recuperate and recover differently, but, whatever. But I don't know, man. I don't really know what Kyrie Irving's doing, man. Like I said, maybe he just doesn't like the pressure of the situation he was in, and he wants to be in a situation where there's a little bit less pressure. But then again, like I said, Kobe Bryant's one of his mentors, so that sort of conflicts with whatever the hell he wants out of life. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe Kyrie doesn't know what the hell he wants either. So I don't know. Brooklyn, though. I think Chris Carter said something about he purchased a home in that area. So maybe that's his destination, man. Maybe that's where he wants to be. And another thing I'm thinking about, too, that I'm trying to analyze the situation, I think he doesn't want to repeat the same situation where he's going to be seen as a sidekick. We all know that if he goes to LA, he's going to be seen as LeBron James' sidekick or whoever else is on that team, even though LeBron James is clearly, to most people now, on the downside of his career. If he goes to New York, he's definitely going to be seen as Kevin Durant's sidekick. So in Brooklyn, he would be the best player on that team. I think it's important for him to be seen as the number one option on the team. So there's that. But tell me what you guys think, man.